tell me about, first off,
Hey y'all, it's so important to pray for our leaders. I am so proud of Texas Governor Greg Abbott on this issue.
And it's showing all these mosques that are being built, and this is on the heels of this news about the Epic City and who's behind that. There's NGOs, all kinds of stuff. Talk to us about what is happening. I mean, people are saying that we are having Sharia courts, Islamism is spreading, and that there are now residential areas that are being constructed that are considered no-go areas for Christians. What are you seeing in your office?
So we're seeing growing trends about everything you just talked about, and I got to tell you, there's not a governor in America that's done more to push back against all that than I have. I signed a law to ensure that only Texas law and Texas courts govern any legal issue in the state, and Sharia law has no authority to govern anything in our state. I signed a law to put an end to that Epic City development, ensuring that you cannot have residential real estate developments that basically eliminate any residents and their others than those who are part of the Muslim community. That violates the laws in the state of Texas, but also with regard to Epic City, the way they structured the whole process, for one, we believe violates Texas laws. For another, we have at least 4 agencies that are still currently investigating Epic City. We have the Attorney General's office, we have the Texas Rangers, we have the State Securities Board, as well as the Texas Commission on Environmental Equality. The point is this, even though I signed a law to put an end to it, we know, as you kind of just suggested, that they have never broken ground on Epic City. They have now tried to rebrand themselves under something more innocuous like the Meadow, but it's still the same people behind all that process that are operating it. And so our goal is to make sure that the ways in which they're trying to circumvent Texas law and Texas jurisdiction is not going to be allowed.
Yeah, that's, I was looking, they decided that they're going to resubmit. I don't know if they've done this already. According to Community Capital Partners, they're apparently planning to resubmit to Collin County and seek approval to form their own municipal utility district now under the Meadow. Because, you just change the name, Governor, and everyone's like, it's a new project, it's okay.
Well, and such a harmless name. But listen, they can change the name, but they can't change the legality of the flawed structure they're trying to impose. You mentioned something, Dana, earlier. You talked about concerns about no-go zones. And if you look at the way this process was structured when it was Epic City, and I have no doubt the same will be true for the Meadow, and that is they did have no-go zones. They had a system where if you bought land there and you wanted to sell that land, you're going to be required to have to sell that land back to the mosque and the imam in charge of that. That's not the freedom of property or freedom of transaction that's allowed in the state of Texas. And that's just one of several different ways in which they were trying to limit that entire area to being Muslim only. And that also violates both the laws and Constitution of the state of Texas. And
I thought, and for those just joining, we're talking to Texas Governor Greg Abbott. From one of the, and I don't know if this is, sometimes there's a lot of information online and you're trying to vet and see what's true and what isn't, because things can be overblown or underblown really. But there were some reports that I guess like HOA fees or things like that would actually be paid to the mosques in these communities. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah. Sure, and that's exactly right. And it gets even more complicated and maybe worse because whether they're called HOA fees or whatever, there are fees that are required to be paid. It goes to the mosque, and according to the information we have, part of that goes back to officials or leaders, if you would, back in other countries, higher up imams. And so this is something and this is one reason why there's a lawsuit for fraud and other things, and that's because it was not clear at all in the paperwork about how this money was going to be used and how it's going to be required to go back to the mosque and to the mosque leaders, whether they be in the United States or some other country. And so they tried to hide the ball of what they were trying to impose, and only investigations revealed the structure that they had created that was so flawed.
That's insane, because there's no way you could do that with an HOA here. Anywhere else, if you were paying a church, if the fees had to be directed to a church, people would be filing lawsuits because, from what I understand, that's a violation of state law.
Correct. And that's just one of multiple legal issues that have been raised that are being looked at by the Texas Attorney General as we speak to enforce it, to make sure that whether it be called Epic City or the Meadow or whatever the name they try to operate under, these types of structures, based upon the law that I signed, are now completely outlawed in the state of Texas.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you're pushing back on this. And why Texas? I guess oil and gas industry. I mean, I guess it would make sense. Talking to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, I wanted to ask you about the Sharia courts. When I first moved here in 2013, and when I originally, had started at the Blaze, still did radio, started at the Blaze, I had to go through Irving, Texas, and it was really stunning to me that just a couple of years before I moved there, Governor, there was a story of an honor killing in Irving, Texas, beautiful suburban neighborhood, and a father had killed his 2 daughters and went on the run before being apprehended because he was upset that they were becoming westernized. Now, you and I both know Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne, who was the mayor of Irving. They had the clock boy incident, and it seemed like you had CARE and every other Islamist activist, everybody coming down on Irving police, etc. Then there was the discussion of Sharia courts, because at the same time they were wanting to establish, I don't know how, a Sharia court in Irving. Now, Governor, you've talked a lot about this. Tell folks, I mean, that's Islamic jurisprudence, which is completely against our American justice system here. We don't have any currently actual legitimate Sharia courts, do we?
Well, if you look at a letter that I issued earlier today, I did tell the public, as well as local law enforcement, that there actually are Sharia courts that are operating in Dallas, and they are trying to impose Sharia law. And I pointed out to local prosecutors, both in Dallas County as well as in Collin County, as well as to the Attorney General, as well as to the Texas Department of Public Safety, that what they are doing with these Sharia courts that we have identified in the letter that I issued today, they are in violation of Texas law, including violation of Texas penal codes. And so what they're doing in part could be considered a crime, but also clearly a violation of the Texas Constitution and our statutes that prohibit Sharia law in the state of Texas.
Who are the entities, Governor, behind this? Because they're getting money to fight for this in some manner, and it's not just from the community.
Well, so that's a great question that we will find out the answer to. However, I believe that one of the organizations behind this is CARE, and it's one of the reasons why I issued the proclamation that I issued yesterday. And that is to declare CARE both a foreign terrorist organization as well as a transnational criminal organization, and to limit the ability of either CARE or any of their affiliates to buy or own land in the state of Texas.
University, Noah Mullins, Grand Rapids Council. I have the privilege of serving as the Turning Point USA chapter president at Grand Valley State University in Allendale, Michigan, and I have traveled home tonight to speak with you because of how disturbed I am by recent events in this city. On September 8, 2025, leaders of this city made their allegiance clear. Osama Sublime. I speak on behalf of Americans everywhere when I say that renaming the corner of Warren Avenue and Chase to honor this individual stands against everything this great country represents. Americans do not stand by silently when Hamas and Hezbollah women and children. Neither does Mr. Sublani, but instead of denouncing, describes the former leader of Hezbollah as a hero. I was born in this city, and I no longer recognize my beloved Dearborn. On September 9th, Mayor Hammoud decided to add insult to injury and rebuke a Dearborn resident who brought to light this very issue. Mayor, know that your rebuke of me will fail to make me yield, and that you have revealed your true nature to all of us. As if these two events weren't enough, the city has also decided to not enforce their own noise ordinances by allowing the Islamic call to prayer from local mosques at times as early as 5:30 a.m. Men and women across America are waking up to the state of our city, and all eyes are on Dearborn. I'm a 22-year-old man, but I am willing to give all of myself, and even my life, to the defense of my land, my people, my Lord, and my future wife and children. My future wife and children deserve to live in a safe and prosperous Metro Detroit like I did growing up. If our region is to continue down the path of Dearborn and Hamtramck, what will become of us? Will our culture be diluted and erased like we are currently witnessing in Europe? The peoples of Europe are the siren call to us here in America. Do not let Islamic culture dominate our own. This is the unfortunate scenario we find ourselves in, but I am proud to be one of the many voices that will warn my fellow countrymen of this impending threat, starting in the city I was born, Dearborn. This city put the world on wheels and helped make the state of Michigan the powerhouse that it is. How then does it fall from such grace? It is because we have let this city be overrun by so-called leaders who don't adhere to the Christian and American values that made the West the greatest society the world has ever known. I will certainly use my voice to defend our way of life, and it shall not be silenced in life or in death. In ending, I say to those of you who will slander my character and drag my name through the press for what I have said here tonight, know this. To be Islamophobic is to fear Islam, and I will never fear it. As the great Nathan Hale once said, I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless all of you, our great nation, and our brothers and sisters across the sea in Europe. Our Lady of the Rosary, pray for us. Thank you.
Throw down here in the middle of the street. Hey, man, listen. These people hate our country. They hate everything we stand for. We have to oppose them everywhere they go, all right? Black or white. If you're a Christian in this country, these people hate your way of life. They oppose your existence. We can no longer allow this. They come over here with their Ford Fusions. Go back to your country, all right?
Go back to Somalia.
Bye-bye.
Go back.
You think any of this is fear-mongering from the right? No, it's necessary. You know, it's not fear-mongering. We need to do this because we're looking what's happening across the pond in Europe, in Berlin, and France, all over, and London. Do we want to be like that? No. And black people, guess what? This country that you live in, you benefit from it. You should stand with your Christian brothers. Stand with our white brothers and sisters. This is our country that we've built together. We lose it, we have nothing. We lose this land, there's nothing else. You're not going to go to Africa and survive. You're not going to go to the Middle East and survive. Guess what? America was built by Christians. White people conquered the land. Black people benefit from it. We have to stand up for it. That's important.
Jeez, so fight broken out. They're throwing iPhones.
Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.